Dear friends, this is Vaidyaraj Anil from Delhi, India. And today I'm going to reveal to you a solution, a real and effective solution for schizophrenia and all mental spectrum issues, including child ADHD, adult ADHD, depression, anxiety, stress, bipolar disorder, OCD, you name it. This innovation of mine, which I call the gut brain axis drops, is made out of certain parts of the banyan tree by my own process, handmade by us, by my family and me. And it has got no side effect, absolutely no side effect. It is the world's most effective and safe probiotic. Now, why do I say there are so many probiotics all over the world? There could be thousands, in Europe, in America, and hundreds of them in India. Now, why do I call it the best probiotic in the world? It is because generally all the probiotics which are available, they have got a huge amount of, immense amount of live bacteria which are singular in nature. That means there could be one or maximum two bacteria. And they are in such excessive numbers that they actually skew or mess up the gut eventually. And that eventually is not too far. It takes a year maybe. And I will tell you why. And my gut brain axis has no live bacteria. The mother extract, the gut brain axis, has been proven to kill pathogens, the disease causing bacteria. And this is evidence-based medicine. Okay? And I will reveal to you what the evidence is. The evidence is that you would not, see, I hesitate to say 100%. But let me tell you, I'm so happy to tell you that almost 100% young children between the age of 18 to 35, young, men and women, and even elderly people, 65, 75 years of age, suffering from schizophrenia, have already benefited from this gut brain axis drops. And the benefit is up to 20% within 10 to 25 days. These are all historical data. And we are ready to, in fact, whenever somebody asks us, we send the cell numbers, the WhatsApp numbers of all these well-placed, educated families where somebody is suffering from schizophrenia. So you can very well reach them and ask. I used to call myself the Psoriasis King, the skin disease, the toughest. And if you go to Google and you search for Vaidyaraj Anil psoriasis, you will come to know, and you will see so many videos of mine and so many comments and so many things. you know, that I'm happy to say that I call myself the Gut King and the Schizophrenia King, and not without reason. I'm so happy. It's not haughtiness, Haughty. Why haughty? No. It's really pride in my product. Now, what happens is that all mental spectrum issues, including schizophrenia, ADHD, and all, they get messed up, literally messed up, by this false science, totally false, and false medicines of psychiatry. Let me tell you, when these psychiatric medicines were not there, the ADHD kids and even the schizophrenia people who actually grew organically without these toxic poison-like psychiatric medicines, they grew to become socially giving, most creative people. You can research what I'm saying. But since the time that these psychiatric medicines came into being and given to people suffering from these diseases, they have lost their life for themselves and for their families. So I say, number one, that anybody, even for depression, anxiety, stress, and all this OCD and, bipolar and everything, including ADHD, schizophrenia, if your child or your young, child, elderly little bit, see, if they are suffering, they have started suffering from this symptom, kindly do not go for psychiatric medicines. They will cumulatively accumulate that toxicity, damage the brain, and ultimately it will be very difficult, for that particular person to live life. Solution is there with me, but I'm not that popular. My advertisement dollars are too little. So kindly spread this word about my concept and my product once you gain the benefit, because that will really be the fee that you actually owe to me, and it's a service to the society. Do not keep mum. That is another problem. I have helped scores and scores, if not hundreds, but actually hundreds of young children with ADHD. I can give you the phone numbers of their mothers and parents. But very few reveal it to the next person. And I can't ask them for a video testimonial or even a Facebook or social media testimonial. I hesitate to ask because I know out of experience that everybody eventually says no, because they want to keep it private, even if it is cured or if it has diminished, the symptoms and, the disease, quote unquote, the issue, the mental spectrum. I won't call it the disease. I'm sorry. So they won't reveal. So my request of you all is that once you gain out of my gut brain access drops in your difficult cases, kindly make it a habit to at least tell at least 5 to 10 people without even revealing your own case or anything. That is not only for my business. Yes, this is a noble business, it should progress, but then the helping of the society is very important. I think I've lectured enough for this, but let me just tell you, the video is going to get longer, so be patient. See, first of all, nowadays gut has been, everybody knows about the gut. If you go to YouTube channels and you search for gut brain axis, you will get very many videos of Yale, Harvard's, John Hopkins of the world. They know the theory, they don't have the product. They don't have the solution. You'll find Biomes and Biome corporate companies, in USA, hundreds of them. But they won't have the solution. No, they won't have any solution. Period. I have it. And let's hope that you get helped, like so many people have already been helped. See, why these psychiatric drugs are not good. If you see the brain is covered from the top by a very hard shell. We call it skull. And same way, there is another protection from within, from down under the body to the brain. Brain is protected from all sides, from the top by the skull and from beneath by a concept called the blood-brain barrier. You can search it on the net. Now, what this blood-brain barrier does is that it does not allow any toxicity that is running in our blood, whether it is a chemical, man-made chemicals toxicity or some disease. It does not allow easily for it to enter the brain by way of a blood-brain barrier. Same way, just like there is another barrier here within the ear, the inner ear, so that inner ear gets protected. Now the thing is, when the brain is protected from all around, these psychiatric drugs were designed by a Trojan horse theory, using which they fool the blood-brain barrier and enter the brain. Now imagine that nature has not allowed anything to enter the brain. And these psychiatric drugs, whether it is for depression or for schizophrenia or ADHD in between or any other psychiatric mental spectrum issue, now they are not supposed to be in the brain. Brain is a very black, dark organ, that very few people, even the biggest scientists and labs, they do not know how it works exactly. So it is just like these drugs entering your brain and throwing arrows. It's akin to throwing arrows into the dark, and they damage it. Spread this word that psychiatric medicines are most poisonous and toxic, and psychiatry is a false science, and tell the world that Vaidyaraj Anil of Delhi has told you. Now what Mother Nature has done is that it has said that if you want to correct the brain, you correct the second brain, which is your gut. You correct your gut, and through the nervous system of the intestines, the gut, large intestine, that there is a huge nervous system that goes to the brain via superhighway called the vagus nerve, and it will cure your brain and the mental spectrum, any issue that you have got up there. So it is called the gut brain axis via the vagus nerve, and there is a parallel system of nerves, going from the middle, the gut, to the brain. That is the beauty. All the nutrients that are required for the brain, they get processed, okay, in the gut. Whether it is dopamine or serotonin or anything which is important for the brain is made within the gut and is sent there through the circulatory system and so many things. So basically, you have to understand that whenever there is any mental spectrum issue, do not take the chemical medicine for it, because it is ultimately would be like throwing arrows into the dark, and your child is going to get worse. You come to me. We have the most proven effective product in gut brain axis drops. 100%, almost. Providence, plays a part. So that is why I humbly say it almost 100%. But historically it is excellent. Now what happens is that you'll be surprised to know that for the child as well as for the adult, and for any mental spectrum issue, including schizophrenia, and we are talking about schizophrenia here, the toughest of mental spectrum issue. If we can cure the toughest, what is the rest? ADHD and schizophrenia, they're the toughest. Depression, anxiety, this and that is nothing. The only reason, one of the most important, another reason that we are able to take care of ADHD and schizophrenia almost 100% is, in case success rate, benefit to very early and slowly complete benefit, is because in the case of ADHD, generally the children are there, and you can see the movement of the child or the adult. And most of the people who come to us, they are either parents taking care of the child. Same way in schizophrenia, either the parents taking care of the young men and women, children of the family, or son taking care of the elderly mother. So there is somebody who's taking care of the ADHD and the schizophrenia cases in the family. But when it comes to depression, anxiety, stress, OCD, bipolar disorder, you'll be surprised to know that the person himself or herself who is suffering, they call us up, they approach us. Imagine they are not able to understand or totally comprehend what is being said, and then they have to decide for themselves whether it is working or not. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I would say that we have got the greatest product, which is a game changer and a paradigm shift for all mental disorders anywhere in the world. But the result is almost 100% only in ADHD and schizophrenia because somebody in the family is taking care of the case. I tell those people who come with other mental spectrum issues to kindly ask somebody else in the family to talk to me, but they don't. And in those cases, you would see that because the caregiver is not there, you will see the success rate goes down 50%, 60%, 70%, but not like schizophrenia or ADHD. I hope I'm able to explain myself. So my basically request or a suggestion or assertion for you is that if somebody is suffering from other quote unquote mental disorders like depression, anxiety, stress, bipolar, and all these other than schizophrenia and ADHD, you guys must talk to me rather and help the person who is suffering. Because first of all, she would not be able to comprehend. They may be confident, they may be talking right, but let me tell you, guys don't know that when somebody is having the psychiatric medicine, he or she becomes a new you, a new person, before image, after image. He might look normal to you, but there is a difference. So kindly help such people. It's not easy. We have to increase that success rate from 50% to 90%. But in the case of schizophrenia, ADHD, the caregiver is there. The person observing the person is there. Taking care of the person is there. So I would insist that in other cases also, please come forth and not, make them work alone all by themselves. Because the observation has to be made, then, because they won't be able to decide sometime. This is all out of experience. Now the thing is, why gut is important for the people who don't know. You can always go to the YouTube and Google search and find out. See, what do we do for our bodies, if I may ask? We just eat and drink. Very few people go for exercise. But generally we just simply eat and drink. Now if you work in an office, you will see 20 people, 10 people, 2 people, 100 people, 1,000 people working for you or for your company. So there are workers actually. And what do you think? This body, this greatest of, I would say, thing or whatever you want to say it, do you think it is working all by itself? Just because you are eating and drinking? No. There are workers in there. And you will be surprised to know that there are 100 trillion workers working within our body for us every second of the day. And these are live and very wise, even wiser than us humans. They have got the wisdom of the ages in terms of the gut microbiome. These are the master chefs which are there in our gut, which actually see, when we eat food, we chew it, then it goes into the esophagus, the food pipe, into the stomach. Again, it gets all meshed up and all mushy. Then from there it goes into the small intestine, a very long one. There also it gets processed. Okay, it's just like in a hotel when you see vegetables getting chopped for the final making by a master chef. So all these are small chefs which are working and preparing the food that you are eating as a raw material to work upon once they reach the gut, which is the colon or the large intestine, which is around 5 to 7 feet before, just before where the feces comes out. Okay. So these workers, they work on all the food and everything that comes, all chopped up. And they create a buffet. Create a buffet of food different kinds, all kinds. And these wise guys, 100 trillions of them, the live bacteria, their genes are like millions of genes. The genetic code is so strong. The DNA is so strong, much stronger than the human genes, which are just 40,000. Here there are 5 million maybe. So they're more wise. And the thing is, all that food that is there in the buffet gets tagged by the genetic code and is sent to every cell of the human body, in every organ. That is how gut is the most important thing, because it is the actual thing which is actually running the whole body, and most of all the brain, all by way of food as well as by way of all the emotions going as a signal through the nervous system, through the vagus nerves, and correcting the brain. So that is the importance of gut. And probiotics too, which are there with live bacteria, they are huge quantity of imposed huge singular bacteria. So they skew up, okay, that, these the bacteria which are there in the gut, they, you will find more of them of one kind if you're taking those probiotics, which actually will not create a very wholesome and complete buffet for the whole body. And that is how body becomes weak, or the organs become weak, and they get damaged because of the lack of those nutrients, because somebody is putting, say, chemicals into it. So if you are putting chemicals or even this probiotics also, they skew up the whole process. Now what my liquid extract does is that GBA, gut brain axis, does is that it is proven, certified by the most respectable Shriram Institute for Industrial Research Microbiology Division to basically kill certain pathogens, which are superbugs declared, like MRSA, E. coli, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and in a very natural way, because it's not chemical. So anytime you use nature, to basically correct nature, there is never a side effect. And what it does is that this gut is supposed to have 75% good bacteria and 15% bad bacteria. Bad bacteria are also needed. So if the bad bacteria increase, then the mental spectrum issues happen, and also the body gets weakened. And how would you know that with my GBA drop, things are getting, like, it is working for the gut? Let me tell you, the status of your gut is reflected in your feces, in your poop. That is why the website of mine with the GBA drops is called pooppeepers.com. I asked the mom and the person himself or the parents to always look at the poop. And there is a chart called Bristol chart. You can find it on the Google, where the types of poops, the color, the shape, everything is given. You'll be surprised to know that, anybody who has got depression, melancholy, melon means black, choly, CHOLY, means bile. That means the poop is dark, is black. So depression. So you will see that as soon as the color and the quality of the poop, with respect to the chart improves, you will see the brain also improving. In the case of ADHD and schizophrenia, within 40 ml of our product, 40 ml is around, I would say, 210 drops, you should see the changes even if the person is taking psychiatric medicines, and as chronic a case as possible. And let me tell you, if God forbid the result doesn't come in 40 ml, let me tell you, you won't be able to find a solution anywhere in the world. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it, kindly do not take me wrong. You have to succeed in this, because nobody can make, I know, see, if you search about me, Vaidyaraj Anil, Vaidyaraj, Vaidyaraj Anil, and see all my YouTube channel, Vaidyaraj Anil, you will see all my innovations are category killers. When I create a product and bring it forth, nobody can make it better in the world. I never bring forth unbaked products and concepts. So the point here is that you have to succeed. Otherwise, that is why I've seen people 99.9% succeeding. So let's hope for the best. So the dosage is same for the child as well as for the adult. You have to take 1 liter of water and you have to put 4 to 5 to 6 maximum. That you have to play yourself. There is no side effect. And another very important thing I must tell you, that anybody who is actually in stress also because of being a family member and caregiver of person who is suffering from this issue, they should also take 1 GBA drop in full glass of water after getting up in the morning. And you'll be surprised to know, to find that their stress level will also go down, and they'll be able to take care of themselves and of the other person very well. They can even take 1 drop in the morning and 1 drop 1 hour after dinner anytime. Now another very important concept that I'm going to tell you is of butter, good cholesterol, omegas. Do not take those omegas and vitamins, not required, no commercial required. In India, we have got ghee, Ghee, yeah, ghee. It is clarified butter. You can get it from any Indian store anywhere in the world. That is the pure omega, good cholesterol, pure omega. And with our herbs in the GBA, gut brain axis, they will digest it and assimilate its goodness, including the omegas, onto your brain. So that is most important. See, it could be butter in other countries, but in our case, it is Ghee, ghee, clarified butter. You can get it anywhere. Indians are all over. Indian stores are all over. So make use of it. You can use it you can put it into your meal also, or you can have it directly also. So we suggest that, at least 1/2 to 1 teaspoonful of extra butter or ghee should enter your body along with our drops. Almonds, if you don't have ghee or you don't want it, sometime, or you can change. Almond, pure Indian, Afghanistan almonds, small ones, not the American big ones. They don't have anything. No nutrients. So the small ones, you can have its oil, have 1/2 teaspoonful of it twice a week or 3 times a week. So those omegas will be translated onto your brain by our gut brain axis drops. By correcting your gut, the nutrients are going to reach. Not commercially imposed stuff, nothing required. Probiotics, I've already told you, probiotics is a failed industry. Sooner or later, everybody will understand, because the heavy amount of singularly imposed bacteria, singular bacteria, is harmful for gut microbiome. And we have got the best product in gut, and that too without live bacteria. And it will be reflected in your poop, and ultimately by the improvement of the mental spectrum issue, the brain. So I have covered the gut, I've covered the gut brain axis. the blood-brain barrier. Now I'll tell you the dosage. See, what happens is that anybody who is not taking the psychiatric drugs, then the dosage is in 1 liter of drinking water, 4 to 6 drops. You can always play. To be given in 5 to 6, to be finished in 5 to 6 dosages. That means 2 hours, within 12 hours. Starting, let's say 8 a.m. in the morning, finishing 8 p.m. in the evening, or 9 a.m. in the morning, finishing 9 p.m. in the evening. But make sure that the person is drinking in front of you and finishing it. And if there is more of thirst, then the other water can also be used. But this water has to be spread out throughout the day in 5-6 dosages or episodes, couple of hours gap, so that it is spread out. And the ghee and the butter. And anybody who's taking the psychiatric drugs, then the dosage is from 8 to 10 drops in 1 liter of water. Other water can also be given if there's an extra thirst. Again, spread out in 12 hours. Now, if in 15, 20, 30 days or within 40 ml, which is around 210 drops, you can always do the calculation, divide it and find out how many days it's going to take. The benefit starts, say for example, which it does, God willing. You will find that you'll be happy. The psychiatric drugs are also going on, but the benefit has creeped in. Then you just wait for a few days, keep on giving, and then you will see that the benefit will plateau. It won't rise that much. That means now the psychiatric drugs are playing, they're stopping the benefit. In that case, there are 2 options. One is you go back to your psychiatrist and request him that kindly taper off the psychiatric drugs because of the gut, the things are improving. So he will slowly taper it off. Don't stop the psychiatric drugs immediately. They are going to damage the brain. You can stop my product anytime and restart it. But you can't play with the psychiatric drugs. They have got huge withdrawal symptoms and they will damage the brain even further. Never do that. And even if the psychiatrist tells you how to do it slowly, you even do it slower. I'm so afraid because I know. And you may be knowing too. So slowly you taper it. Now the other advice is off the record. Because some people don't get the appointment. It is off the record advice. I'll tell you what. If somebody is taking injections, because a lot of injections are given in UK, you convert it into tablets first, if possible. Otherwise, the strategy is this. What you do, once you see it is all plateaued, this is off the record, my experience strategy. And that is, you skip the psychiatric drugs by 1 day. This is called rhythmic tapering off. You just skip it by 1 day. Never skip it by 2 days. You continue giving it alternate days for 2 months. So your body will know the rhythm that the poison, the toxicity, the chemical is going to come every other day. But you will reduce it, the toxicity will be reduced by 50%. So once 2 months finish, then you skip it by another day. That means you take after every 2 days the psychiatric drugs. Our medicine continues. And then after 2 months of doing so, you again skip it by 1 more day. That means 3 days of skip for another 2 months. And then you may try, or again go for 4 days after 2 months, or you may try to stop it. That is the off the record experienced advice that I give to people who sometimes the psychiatrist is not available or for whatever reason. So I've told you about why brain is doubly protected from top and the bottom, and how the Trojan horse theory allows this, mischievously these toxic psychiatric drugs, which is a false science, to enter your brain and mess it up forever. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, so you have, and then I have told you about the gut brain axis, and also the nervous system, how the nutrients go, and what kind of nutrient we need, and all natural. And now how long it has to be given, my product. Now this is an art. This is not a science. What you do is, see, good gut is required by anybody. Even I take 2 GBA drops a day, one in the morning, one at night, or sometimes just one at night. I'm just saying it. So it is not something that, somebody can take it at a very minimal quantity forever. Because nowadays, food is such, water is such, that everything has got chemical and toxicity into it. So we have to protect our gut, especially the person who has already suffered. So the cost becomes very, very less. Okay. So, and the other way is that once, those things are tapered off, the toxic chemicals, then you continue with the dosage, which is there, the higher one, for a couple of months or 3 months. Once you are satisfied, then you slowly reduce it to save money. That means from 8 drops, say for example, to 4 drops, to 3 drops, to 5 drops, and slowly, and then have a minimum, because you could also be taking 1 or 2 drops a day. So let him also or her also take 1 or 2 drops. When allopathic medicines, such toxic, evil medicines, can be given for life, why can't these pure, blissful, God-sent, natural herbal medicine, which is helping us every day remove toxicity and provide digest and assimilate all the nutrients that we eat, all the food that we eat, the nutrients all over the body. So keep that in mind. So when people say, how long will I have to take? Kindly study this thing and you will know. I've already said it and explained. So you can always reduce it later to minimum. Or sometime if you don't want to give, fine. You can try that also after a while. And then again restart a little bit, when you see the gut is getting messed up. Not the brain, but the gut. Because digestion is also very important. That is gut only. So I hope that I have, I've tried my best, to explain everything. English is not my native language. Okay. But I think I have, pardon me if, my accent or anything, you're not able to understand. Okay. But take somebody's help to understand if you don't. And make the most out of this real product. And again, I'm reminding you that once you benefit from it, you spread it. I don't know how you do it. You just spread it, because I need that help. Okay. Otherwise, people are going to be messed up their brains throughout the world. It's a global problem and it is increasing day by day, especially after this corona virus scare and all. People are too scared and they get into these wrong psychiatric drugs. So kindly help yourself and help the society. God bless you.